conversation. And that looks like being a part of the advisory boards, being on the community boards, doing coming to these meetings, right? But we just need to make sure it's happening and it's happening consistently.
So I know not every detail of every question was asked in this panel, but I know that we hit all the topic areas from all the questions. I have one final question that I think was a really good one to kind of wrap up on and think about River Park Towers looking forward. So how can we move forward and remove the negative stigma off the River Park Towers with crime being decreased in the area? Also, just before that, there is food on the side. Please, before people go, take some of the food. And I really thank you all for being here as well.
That answer the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll get to you all.
Yeah, I think that was, again, a great question. Thank you for the question. So as I said earlier, and as the young man here, the young man right here who engaged with the panel, one of the things that I said that I've been involved with for the better part of a solid year is really trying to work with our company, with the leadership members of our company to bring services to River Park Towers. We're doing that generally, but again, River Park Towers stands alone. It's the largest, actually the tallest buildings in the Bronx and the largest asset that our company owns. But I was delighted to hear and certainly really welcome the amount of involvement that this panel is already involved with. The council member, the district attorney's office, the borough president's office. So we're not starting from scratch. We're not. I mean, one of the in Roberto Clemente State Park, as a resource of this community, one of the things that I will do immediately is reach out to these members of our community to help us, because again, we're the management company of the buildings, and our day-to-day obligation is to make sure that the buildings are operating. But certainly, in my mind and in the mind of our leadership team, I have brought the point of paradigm. We have operated, and I just want to say this, we have operated in a rather downstream, fixing problems, and the message that I have, the message that I am delivering to my colleagues in the leadership team is that we have to shift the paradigm from downstream to upstream, right? And that's going to take a little bit of work, but engaging with members of the community like you and others that you can put us in touch with, at least know, if there's a big takeaway here, is that the management and ownership team really are hearing this message, right? And if we want a different result, we have to engage in doing different things to get a different result, right? So part of my work at this point is to engage with the members of this panel in doing what we have to do in order to really realize a different future for this community. Thank you.
And just to add really quickly, I think one of the things when we're talking about stigmas and how do we change it, we change it. We need to be the people controlling our narrative, and I think that that's some of the issues. I say this all the time. I'll have events, beautiful events with we're honoring young people, or we're honoring leaders in the community. We'll reach out to the media. No one shows up. But if there's a shooting response, I have every news camera in my face wanting to kind of exploit that. And so the reality is we as a community have to start controlling the narrative. When good things are happening in our community, how are we showing that? How are we showcasing that? How are we putting that on social media? How are we promoting each other's businesses? How are we really looking at the things that's going on in the community and really putting that on display? Because the reality is no one else is going to do it for us. And so we have to get to a place where as a community, we are taking responsibility of our narrative, taking responsibility for our community and doing it. I don't really post things that aren't positive on my page, and it's really about how we uplift them in the community. As a council member, I go hard for the Bronx. I've been at places where people have said things like, if I come to the Bronx, am I gonna get robbed? And so the reality is this is what is put out in the media, because every time you turn on the TV, it is something negative about the Bronx. But we know the Bronx is beautiful and the Bronx is thriving. So we as a community need to take hold of that narrative and change the stigma, not just here at RPT, but across the Bronx.
Well, I agree with the council member. It's up to us to push it out there. So coming out of this meeting, I know we're gonna have some positive stuff to report. And we'll push it out. My office will, you do on your social media. You call the Bronx Times and you talk to, whatever news and let them know that certain good things are happening. And the better we do, the more positive it will be. I mean, we had good news today. Nobody knew about it, but you know because you live here. So we will continue to work hard to make sure that we push it out. So you got a lot of partners here that's going to make sure that happens.
Okay, so we are going to take a couple of questions from the audience. Start right here.
Good evening, everyone, or blessed afternoon, everyone. My name is Gloria Daniel, and I have taken the time off from my church service to come here to get educated on what you panel have to say to me. Now, my question is, what is River Park Towers is doing? How hard are they working to eliminate the dog feces that is so disturbing to our seniors and our mothers with little children? Because this has been ongoing for a very long time. And I'm not blaming River Park Towers. I believe they can talk to the tenants and let them know they ought to do the right thing. Because feces is very unhealthy to our tenants, especially our seniors and our young mothers with their babies. So I need to know how urgent are they going to eliminate this problem? Because I am tired. I have to look where I have to walk. I can't walk on the pavement. I cannot walk on my 2000 street. All these dog pieces. And something has to be done. Because I am not happy with this condition. But all these dog pieces where I live. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Let's see. Okay. Is it 1, 2, 3?
Good afternoon. The path coming down to here from the Snoopy, who's responsible for that removal of the smoke, removal of the feces, keeping it clean over there? Is it River Park Towers or is it the State Park?
It's this strip going down the side of the school.
Yeah, it's the side of the school down here.
It'd be nice.
It's coming down the path. It's full of snow right now.
State Park, man. I just fell over there. That's the State Park. I just fell over there.
To be honest, when it's not snowing, when our own community brothers clean up that area, they put on construction vessels and cleans up that area on its own.
Okay, wait, I'm like, is someone talking? I can't see.
It's someone, y'all was speaking about taking care of our own community.
Right.
It's a brother that's been in the community for a long time by the name of Keith. He puts on the cleaning stuff and he cleans up the neighborhood on his own. No help, no shovels, no brooms. He does this on his own. He puts on the safety thing so he doesn't get hurt. He makes himself look like he's really doing it as a job, but he's doing this out the kindness of his heart. You guys may know him, y'all may know his mother. His name is Keith. He does this on his own with no help and takes care of that strip, cleans up the dog feces, and he does as much as he can on his own. One brother, and he's been in this community for over 30 years, and he did a thing called Keith Camp on his own, where he kept a lot of our youth from 25 to 35 out of the streets, gave us chances at basketball, put us in different programs, and his name is Keith. We call him Keith Camp, and he's another brother that I want to sit down with and introduce y'all to him to empower him, because he's doing a lot of good things on his own for a long time in the community, and it's time to empower these people, because he's somebody that inspires the work that I do myself by him giving time to me and other young brothers from the community. So one time for Keith. Thank you.
All right, 2 times for Keith. Thank you. And that's exactly the story of improving our community. community, doing work without a title, right? And I appreciate that. So we want to talk to him because I think we can engage him and look at, again, opportunities, because I would love to understand why he has done this all these years and what we can do to support him in terms of resources. But yeah, so let's do that. Gentlemen, you're talking about Mathewson Road. So that is City DOT. And we will reach out to them. This is the side street right here where the teachers park, adjacent to the school. So we will find out what's going on in terms of the pickup that they have in terms of street cleaning roads. Mathewson Road. Anyone else?
Thank you, panel. Thank you for the information you've given us today. Hi. It's difficult for me to stand.
Sorry,
so
okay.
Please excuse
No.
me. My question is for Mr. Thurman Garcia. You have a vision for River Park Towers. Would you talk about that? What the time frame might be? Please.
Sorry. Oh, you're Chris, right? Yeah. My bad.
Thank you for the question. Look, I have most recently been meeting with the Tenant Association, with Celeste Burns and the senior advisory members, right? I tell you, I have literally worked hundreds of hours by myself, quietly, developing a plan. I have more recently been communicating with Bronx Works. Now, Bronx Works is a friend of this community, and I know that it's an institution that has been around for 50 years. Just last summer, they celebrated their 50th anniversary of existence. And so what I have done is reached out to them, to Eileen Torres, who's the executive director of Bronx Works. And I know that Bronx Works today has had a relationship with River Park over many, many years, and the borough president's office has been integral in having that relationship with River Park over many, many years, and we're grateful for that. But what we want to do is we want to bring services, perhaps not only through Bronx Works, but Bronx Works, because they're already here, we want to engage them in bringing services for the youth, daycare, GED programs, computer labs, and trade skills, and those sorts of things, because college is not necessarily for everyone, but we know that there are just many avenues for economic and upward mobility, right? We know that historically there's been historic inequity. We know that. And so again, if we want a different result, we have to engage in a different process. That's what we are focused in on with intention. You know, and so I will be, me myself, Thurman Garcia, this is above and beyond what I do, I mean, this week I was in Atlanta for 2 days, working with the community in Atlanta. I was there 2 weeks ago. The week before I was in Columbus, Ohio. And while I'm there, I'm thinking of River Park, and I'm speaking with Celeste Brown, and I'm communicating with her to communicate details about the vision of what we want to do for this community. So I will personally reach out to members of this community to understand, because look, one last point, it's important to take some of the ideas that I have gathered, but it's really your ideas, right? It's really your ideas to understand what it is what the needs are, what the wants are, right? And taking all of that with the resources that I can bring from the ownership team, that I can bring from the management team, and that I can partner with strategic social entrepreneurs and change makers. This is not original here, right? This has been being done for many years, and it's being done in other communities of the Bronx. And so in my mind, I say to myself, here 1,654 families that reside in these 4 towers, right? And so the vision is, let's make River Park a model. Let's make it a model. And so one last detail to that, and I welcome and I commit myself to this town hall. here it is, the first quarter of 24, right? In my mind, and one of the thoughts yesterday and this morning, 6 o'clock this morning, is I'm thinking about this moment, right? And this is a moment, right? This is a moment, and perhaps the moment, right? I'm thinking about, when are we gonna meet again? We don't need to commit to that right this minute, but in my mind, I'm thinking of the follow-up to this town hall, and then I'm thinking about the follow-up to that follow-up, right? Because if we don't measure what we're talking about, A, and B, what we're doing, if we don't measure it, if we don't have a way to measure it, you cannot manage that which you cannot measure. And I want us to engage and be committed to managing something, right? And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying here, publicly, right? I'm committing to that. So I hope that I've answered your question. I hope I've answered your question. That is the commitment.
Next question over here.
Actually, I was looking for more details about the services you envision coming here that would make River Park Towers a model, and the time frame you envision is happening.
Right. So look, the time frame in my mind, it's urgent. In my mind, it's urgent. Again, like I said, I reached out to Eileen Torres, who's the executive director of Bronx Works, right? And I'm looking to meet with her, as I said to her, as soon as next week, right? So in my mind, it is urgent. But I am hoping to reach out to, again, to our council member, to our district attorney, to our Bronx Borough president, because they already have a lot of programs that we can bring to River Park. And again, I want to engage with this young brother right here who has ideas, and he has other members of his friendship and his community, of his space, that will inform us with what it is, the programs that we will bring to River Park. So it's immediate. It's not, I can't tell you that it's gonna happen Monday, but I can tell you that we've been working on this for a while, and there's no time like the present time.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. I would like to know, who would I speak with concerning that I'm being stalked 24/7, 7 days a week? I'm being stalked, and I'm just going around in circles with the 46th precinct, and it's very serious. I'm being, people are knocking on my walls all times of days and nights, and in the same token, it's beeping of cars, and this man that been on my floor for many of years, he been doing a lot, and enough is enough, and I've been going to different borough presidents and different things to that nature, and nothing is being done, and I need assistance ASAP. And even Mr. Anderson, my property manager, he knows what's been going on, and it's a very, very serious matter in my part. And I've been very humble, and then on top of that, my family's Jehovah's Witness, so I already know we're in the last days, but something has to be done, because this is 24/7, 7 days a week.
Hi, Miss Captain Eichner from the 46th Precinct. If you want to see us afterwards, and we'll go over the details. All right? Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, I want to address the issue of security. What's the matter with your security? They don't do nothing. They said they don't get paid enough when you call and say they're disturbing, they're playing loud music, and you can't get to sleep because this is early in the morning. And you can't sleep. What could you do to address the issue to the person in charge with security? Because their people is not doing enough.
So, Mr. Garcia, I know we'll have a further conversation about that, but I'm grateful you recognize that, because there are some restrictions when it comes to noise enforcement, right? When you call 311, when you call management, you call security, but also we have to protect security as well, because there are some times when residents visibly and physically assault security as well. It goes both ways. So I want to make sure that we work with management. Oops, excuse me, I'm falling out of my chair. We work with management and we come up with a better plan on how to address noise complaints in general so that everyone can have a good night's sleep and just generally live in decency and order and have respect for neighbors, right? We can't legislate common sense sometimes. Everyone has to understand that we're all living together and this is a matter of respect and consideration for your neighbors. So we will work with management on coming up with a system so that there is a better way to support residents when they actually call about noise complaints.
We've got a question right here as well.
Got it. Okay, we got it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've been in the community for years. I'm a senior, and there are other seniors here. What can be done about having some inspector go to the supermarket? Because we take accessory or cabs or bus, we go to Walmart, Stop and Shop, ShopRite. What can be done about having inspectors come to the supermarket and check out the dates or whatever needs to be done so we can have decent food in our community? We only have one supermarket.
Yeah, I just want to say, this is one of the concerns, and I thought I actually heard more about this earlier on, but this is one of the concerns that my office has gotten when we come here to door knock and do food distributions. So there's a couple of things. We've reached out to the corporation and told them their complaints. Clearly they haven't done anything. We also are going to be starting on Saturdays to bring healthy and fresh food here, to do a food distribution starting in February on Saturdays. But we also, this is one of the things that we've definitely been working with them, trying to report them and letting them know the quality of the food wasn't good. We had came down, because my deputy inspector also thinks he's a detective. He's come down, done some detective work, and then been going in there and actually looking at the meat, inspecting it, taking pictures, sending it to the corporation and letting them know, and they're pushing back a lot. And so I know DOH was just saying that is a state and New York State issue, so we do need to start pushing it to the state.
Yeah, this is a New York State issue, but definitely we'll raise this and we can work together with the state.
We have a question back here.
The supermarket is a tenant, it's a commercial tenant of the property.
As in they have a lease, right? Mr. Garcia, and that lease has an expiration date, right? Okay. Just saying, just don't. No, again, I mean, I think when you talk about food equity and healthy food, we have to look at who our providers are. And we want to make sure that anyone that comes into our communities has our best interests in mind. People over profits and making sure that the food is healthy. I've gotten complaints about price gouging, about food being outdated. Those are violations. We have to make calls about that. If we see food that has been expired and it's in our supermarkets, we need to call the health department. We need to make sure that we are reaching out to the agencies that oversee these companies and these businesses that are doing work in our borough. They want our money for a reason, guys, right? And so we have an expectation that the services should be the highest level of quality. If it's anything below that, then that means it's not the best. And that means we deserve better. So we will follow up with the council member, with the Department of Health on specifics, but you all have the ability, if you see something, you can say something. And that gets logged in. The more people that call, the bigger attention that it will get. If 2 people call versus 20, it makes a difference. Everyone shops here, you see it. You see the same things. So we want to make sure that you all have that opportunity to do so.
Good afternoon, my name is Selena Kennard, and my concern is for the children. They're saying that it's a lot of drug uses and things like that, but the children are being allowed to have a place to do it. The laundry room, the lobby, the staircase. So what I want to know is, I don't know the duties of the security. I don't know what the security can and can't do. I don't know if management should be enforcing this. But when you see little kids 4 or 5 years old outside 1 o'clock in the morning, if their mothers are not there, the security or the management should be holding their mothers accountable. Somebody should be enforcing that. These kids are 4 and 5 years old, out and running around. Okay, you get hit by a car, anything can happen. And security sit right there, and security don't say, now I don't know if they're scared, I don't know if they can't, I don't know if they don't want to. I know that they're not afraid to ask the residents to buy them some weed. They're not afraid to go in nobody's apartments and be inappropriate with them. So what I'm saying is, when they stand up, when they want to, the kids are fighting, they standing right there, they ain't doing nothing. You can't send your kid to the store because if you want to, if they go to the store, anything happens, ain't nobody gonna say nothing, the security's not gonna do anything, and I know it's the parents too. I know the parents have to do their part. But there's some parents who are not doing that, not capable, mentally not healthy, drug addicted, there's a lot of issues with the parents, okay? So what I'm saying is, when do management and the security step in and say, hey, this cannot be done here? It gotta be enforced, and another thing, it gotta be penalties. If they can leave dog shit not cleaned up, nobody gonna say that, they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep doing whatever they want until somebody stand up and say something and enforce these rules. And I'm not talking about for a day, I'm talking about for real.
Yeah.
For real.
Thank you for the question. Look, again, I believe that the heart of that question, again, potentially goes to services, right? Services, there are many different levels of services. And one of the levels of services in my mind, and again, that we've talked about, is preschool age community, right? Then there's school age community with after school and tutoring. And so what we want to do and what we intend to do is to identify spaces within the River Park Towers, spaces that we can offer to these service providers so that they can create programs, whether it's a computer lab program such as we have at another property in Bedford-Stuyvesant that I know that it's tremendously successful. And so the question is, in my mind, if it's successful there, why can it not be successful here, right? We also have, if I may just finish, if I just may finish, we also have, again, other communities where we know that we have, like, for example, in Brooklyn, a community where we have a service provider that has like about 10 different rooms in a space that we've provided at the property, where they do their homework, they use computers, they do dance classes, there's a basketball court kind of like similar to this indoors. So we will figure out how to provide spaces. Now look, at the end of the day, if a child is 4, 5, 6 years old, that child should be home, and the parent should be paying attention to that child. And again, and we will have conversations with security, and perhaps there needs to be a refresh on that point. But a child that's that young should not be outdoors. That responsibility, frankly, belongs with the parent.
Hi, Miss, we'll speak with security and ask them to call the NYPD if there's any unattended children of that age outside.
What can be done? Hello. So I've been talking a lot and no one knows my name. My name is Maxine Chisholm. I'm a resident of Building 40, Apartment 11, Harold. Good afternoon to everybody. What's going to be done so that supermarket does not get their lease renewed? I have been called lesbians, butch, dyke, and everything else by the people that own that supermarket down there. Almost got myself in trouble and got arrested, but I like to work. I have a bachelor's degree in human services, and I didn't want to mess up my criminal background after I cleared it up after so many years. However, I would like to be able to go into a store where I am greeted cordially and I can shop without the worry of someone following me around, without the worry of the food being expired, and without the worry of being called out of my name, no matter what my sexual preference is. Now, this has happened to me on more than one occasion where I said to myself, I can't go back in there because I'm going to find myself in trouble, which I did not want to do. So this is my question. What can be done to get them out of our community? Because it's only not happening to me. It's happening to a lot of African American women that are walking into that supermarket. The way that manager or the owner of that supermarket speaks to people, stop it, y'all, stop it. The way he speaks to people is not very nice. Not very nice at all. I saw him take a lady by her collar and throw her out of the store. He should never be putting his hands on people. He threatened to take me downstairs and, excuse my language, F the shit out of me. No lie. But because I am trying to succeed and want to be successful in life, I did not retaliate in a bad way. So that was my question. Why do y'all keep renewing their lease?
So we have a hard stop at 2:15, respectful of the venue. I have 2 questions ready that have been ready, so.
Good afternoon, my name is Timothy Graham. I had a triple bypass open heart surgery 10 years ago. I think they had a security named Card with Ray Emmanuel office. Numerous times. He said he had to let me in to get the first gate with my session ride. He turned me around and disrespected. I guess he did because of my session perfect because I'm gay. And he is discriminating me numerous times. And he a big crook. He got these people out here doing all kinds of crooked stuff, working for him, giving them money underneath the table. And everybody know about it. And they need to get rid of these security guards to get new security guards. And I put in a complaint in Madison. I don't even look my age. I'm 51 years old. And a lot of people think I'm way younger than that. And I'm very upset. Nobody doing nothing. And they need to get new security guards here. Because they down with the team that would live here. Doing all kinds of crooked stuff. They doing drugs. They selling drugs. They got the tenants selling drugs. And that's what's going on. And somebody need to clean up. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Alvarez. My question has to do with the fireworks during the summertime. The exploding in front of the windows, the noise, 1, 2, 3 in the morning on the plaza, exploding. It's ridiculous between the dogs barking and tenants not being able to sleep. It's a weekday, those of us who have to go to work the next day. What can the PAC group of people, what can you do, and the police can do, to further stop this noise? Because we're about to start the summer all over again. And then it happens all year round, but especially once the summer starts. How can you guys help with that? Because it's exploding right in front of my window, and everyone's window, and it's very inconvenient.
Hi, Ms. I totally understand that. I've heard it when I'm working, I've heard it at my own house. It's a police issue. It's a call to 911 or 311. Fireworks are illegal. If you call us and we get there and we're able to see the people doing it, I know that's an issue, but the best response is just to call us and let us know about it. and we will do our best to address it when we get there.
And we have one final question.
This is less a question and just more remark. So my name is Tariq Israel. I'm the Deputy Chief and District Director of Councilmember Stevens. Part of my job is to work with TAs on creating options and outlets for the residents, right? I heard outcries about the dog feces, I heard outcries about noise complaints, and outcries specifically about the supermarket. These are all things that I would love to work with Ms. Celeste around. The TA, because this is where those issues are, right? It's the TA's job to tell the management what's going on in the community. Ms. Celeste Burns, right here. Okay, I just want to say, this is your community representative right here. She's going to echo all your voices and your concerns, and I want to work with her because I did work with a TA down up in Morsania around. They had a similar issue with dog feces, and they were able to work with their management and local community partners to provide community doggy bags for the community that people can just pick up their dog feces. So those are things that you could do yourself, just working with management, working with different community partners to create options for yourself. So I would love to work with you. I would love to work with the representative of River Park Towers to talk about these options and empower the residents around these kind of options, because we don't really think about them, right? We look to people for the answers, but a lot of times it starts with ourselves. So I just want to say that I will be working, and y'all will be seeing me more around to address a lot of these issues, especially the noise. I understand, and the buildings are so tall, the fireworks is exploding right in your face. So I understand. But thank you.
Just real quick on the dumping. If you see, like we had this issue on 167th, if you see contractors dumping garbage in your neighborhood, if you take pictures of it and you get their license plate, you can report it and get money. And it can be up to $1,200 per fine that's paid, 50% of the fine. And a dude in my neighborhood caught 5 contractors dumping, and he made about 6 G's, catching people dumping in his neighborhood, and they stopped dumping in our neighborhood. And on another one too, if they're idling, if their trucks are idling, commercial trucks, you can call that in also, and I think that's like $300 per, and you can get something on that too. So that's another way, using 311, being active, and getting the dumping. And that's how we stopped it in the Sedgwick Avenue area in Undercliff. So y'all can do that in your neighborhood too, all right? My name is Landon Days, D-A-I-S.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping up. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much to everyone for coming out. Let this not be the last opportunity where we are all speaking. We all have offices, we have email addresses. We want to make sure that you stay engaged. This is about the future of River Park, of the Bronx, of our community. And we've done great work, and now we will continue to do even better work. Can we give a round of applause for all of our hosts? Roberto Clemente State Park, thank you Leslie Wright, Francis Rodriguez, thank you to Anita Reyes from the Health Department, thank you to Mr. Furman Garcia, thank you to Mr. Anderson, thank you to Paz, to our team, our District Attorney Darcel Clark, our Council Member Althea Stevens, our Congress Member Adriano Espaillat, State Senator Robert Jackson, thank you to our Captain of the 4-6 Precinct, to Community Affairs, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being here, and have a wonderful afternoon, and God bless you all. Thank you so much everyone for coming.